This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 383 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is sponsored by Equestrian Collections. Visit them at equestriancollections.com. Howdy, everybody. Glenn the Geek back with you from Lexington, Kentucky, and welcome back to Horse Tip Daily. Well, we have with us today Dr. Carrie Leeuw. Now, Dr. Leeuw has been with us on many times before talking about chiropractic and acupuncture and things like that. Well, Dr. Leeuw is back in a little different form today. She popped in on the morning show, Horses in the Morning, the other day that I do every morning at 9 a.m. on the Horse Radio Network. And she popped in the other day and talked about an iPhone app that she put together that I thought that you would find fascinating. If you listen to the morning show and have heard this already, then you could bypass this tip and go on to the next one. And that reminds me, we've had a couple of people ask, why do we regurgitate tips from the other shows on Horse Tip Daily? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is we realize that there are listeners to Horse Tip Daily that don't listen to all the other shows. There are a few people out there that do listen to all of our shows and some that listen to certain shows. So we want to make sure that we take the best out of those other shows and put them into Horse Tip Daily. Plus, Horse Tip Daily is meant to eventually be the largest historical archive of equestrian tips that you'll find anywhere in the horse world. So by taking these fantastic tips that we do on these other shows, it puts them all into one spot at Horse Tip Daily, and they become, as we said, our goal of the largest tip depository there is for the horse world. So that's two of the main reasons why we replay some of the tips from some of the other shows, and we'll continue to do so down the line. We understand that if you listen to that show, you may not want to listen to that tip again. That's fine. That's why there's one almost every day. There's a lot of tips. We're at number 383. There's 400 tips almost in our archive already, and you can go back to listen to anyone at any time. Well, this is Dr. Leeuw from California, who's put together a fantastic application, and what you're going to hear right after this commercial from Equestrian Collections is Dr. Leeuw with Jamie Jennings and I on Horses in the Morning. Hey everyone, it's that time of the year again for after holiday closeout sales, and Equestrian Collections has hundreds of items for you at tremendous savings up to 70% off. Closeouts from Ariat, JPC, Pessoa, Ovation, and so many more. Highly discounted specials include ladies' apparel, footwear, saddle pads, bags, belts, coats, and the list goes on and on. Remember, you can save up to 70% now, but this is a closeout and quantities are limited. So grab the keyboard and type in equestriancollections.com. You'll see the great big ad right on their homepage for all of their closeout specials now for the month of January. Get them before they're gone at equestriancollections.com. Well, we're back on Horses in the Morning by Back on Track today with Jamie Jennings is here, the two puppies are here, and Jennifer and I are here. And we have next up Dr. Leeuw, who is out of California, and she is a regular contributor here to the Horse Radio Network. And good morning, Dr. Leeuw. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
All right. Are you awake? Did we get you out of bed?
I am awake, and you got me out of bed, but it's worth it. It's always good to talk to you guys.
That's the problem with the morning show on the East Coast is it's very early on the West Coast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, at least now it's like I can see a hint of sun, whereas a couple months ago when I talked to you guys, there was no hope.
That's true. We had originally planned to talk about horse handling, do's and don'ts, and then you sent me a little note yesterday, and we decided we'd rather talk about the iPhone app. Is this something that you put together?
My boyfriend and I, we kind of, I'm not a computer person, clearly, but I felt like, in relating to horse handling even, I felt like there was a need because I would go out to barns, and a lot of times the owners aren't the ones doing the day-to-day, and I'd have instructions, and then there would be this communication kind of lapse in the instructions, like, no, you can't feed them tonight, they're colicky, and so that's sort of how it came about.
Tell everybody what it is.
It's basically just a translator from English to Spanish with any horse words that you could probably come up with and phrases. So, if you want to say, my horse cannot be taken out of its stall today, that may already be there, or you could just type it in and it would translate it to Spanish for you, and then it would just save it. So if you needed to repeat it, it would just be there.
Well, and I know where you guys live. By the way, the application is called Horse Spanish. You can look it up. It's an iPhone app, and it's called Horse Spanish. And I did that this morning, and I have it here, and it's really cool. It's, you've done a great job. You've broken down. You actually have categories: the anatomy, ailments, treatments, classifications, feeding, stable management, tack. So you have different categories with different words in it that you can look up, and then it translates it to Spanish. But I know where you live in California, where Jamie lives in Arizona, this is a huge issue.
Yeah, it really is, especially if a horse is sick. I mean, that's where it's like, no, this horse cannot have alfalfa hay. Little things like that are just really key for keeping them healthy. And I've had so many communication barriers that, I wanted it for myself because I speak enough Spanish to get by, but when it comes to, details, I need a translator.
I totally understand where you're coming from. So many times I'm like, okay, no pasto like trying to remember what is the word for alfalfa hay. We know the word hay, but alfalfa hay is different, and a horse with laminitis can't have the alfalfa, and so you're trying to explain it to them, and a lot of times the handlers just don't get it, and every once in a while you come across an English-speaking one that can translate for you, but this is just a tool to help you all the time. And I have to tell you that I think the iPhone app is fantastic. It's all horse terms. Everything is there. But some of us might not have the iPhone 4, just the iPhone 3.
I know.
What the heck? So I can't, Glenn, I tried to download it, but it's only for the iPhone 4.
You can get it on the iPhone 3. You just have to go, when you sync your iPhone 3, you just have to what is the word? Basically, you update it, and then you can have it on.
So she needs the new updated. Have you done the latest update there, Jamie, to the new operating system?
I synced my phone this morning, and it didn't give me that choice. Maybe it'll.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't come up like. It's there, the choice is there, but it doesn't pop up on your screen. Would you like to do an update, sort of like iTunes does? It's not one of these in your face updates, but it's there when you sync it, and then you can update it to the newest operating system. So yeah, unfortunately it's not on the Android, but it is on the iPhone 3 and 4 if you update it. Whatever word came up when you tried to download it, that's the word you're looking for on your screen, and it's there when you sync it.
Okay, gotcha. I was kind of mad. I was like, oh, stupid iPhone 4 people, they get everything, and us iPhone 3 people just have to sit in a corner.
Well, pretty soon you'll have your upgrade, right?
I think I have another 6 months before I'm allowed to go buy a new phone, and the iPhone 4 is definitely in the works, but it's kind of one of those things you go, do I really
the
need
impressive part of this conversation is Dr. Leeuw, who came on and said, I really don't know much about technology, is helping Jamie with her iPhone.
I love it, Dr. Leeuw. I think this is great. I wish you guys the best of luck. We talk about another iPhone app for horses too called Pocket Stable, where you basically download all your veterinary information and farrier and vaccines and deworming and horseshoeing and all that into your iPhone, and it basically keeps a track of where and when and who's due for what, and so this is just going to add to my Equestrian iPhone applications. I love it.
Perfect. Well, thanks for looking at it, you guys.
How much is it,
Dr. Leeuw? Is it
$25, Dr. Leeuw?
Oh, gosh. No. I think, since it just came out, I think, net profit is, there is no profit really yet, but I think we've sold 4 or something because it really just came out. But it's only $1.99.
Yeah, okay.
That's cheaper than a book.
Right. That's true. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee at the Starbucks, is for sure.
I know.
Definitely.
I know. When you put it in perspective, it's like the change in your wallet. So.
It's not going to help you with the caffeine side of things, though. That you're still going to need to get the cup of coffee. So,
very true.
And I think Dr. DeLeeuw is going to need a cup of coffee very shortly. So this is great. It's called Horse Spanish, an iPhone application. You can find it. I just did a search, actually, Horse Spanish iPhone app, and it brings you right to the page that you need to do. And I did it on. It also works on the iPod Touch. I was able to download it onto my iPod Touch, and it works fine there. And it's very attractive. It's easy to do. You can search for phrases. I like the fact that you have phrases in there, like where is my barn, who is in charge here, things like that. And I could tell that these were phrases that you would need being a veterinarian as you're going, like who is in charge here. So I
Dr. DeLeeuw,
that.
like when there's a phrase in there, did you guys get tempted at all to put maybe one or two incorrect things? Like who's in charge here? It's like, take me to your leader is what the translation would be.
Right. No,
like
well,
that?
it's funny because once you type in any phrase that you want, it'll just sort of keep it for you. And so mine has like just funny things that have nothing to do with horses that I just was curious about, like
cuss words. Do you have cuss words in it?
Is it time to go surfing yet?
We have a friend that worked at a track for a long time, and she doesn't know many foreign languages, but after having worked at the backside of a track for a long time, she knows every swear word in about 25 languages.
It's an international place.
It's the one thing they learn on the backside of track. Well, this is great, Dr. DeLeeuw. Good luck with it. We will definitely, promote this for you. I think it's a terrific application. And, it doesn't matter where you live in the country, you're running into this problem. So, way to go, putting it together to help solve a problem. Well, certainly for $1.99, that's one iPhone application that's worth taking a look at. And I think you can also, you can, because I did it on mine. You can also use it on the iPod Touch. So to check it out, Horse Spanish right there on your app store at the iPhone. Or just look up Horse Spanish iPhone app on your browser on your computer or on your iPhone, and that'll bring you to the page where you can go to buy it as well. Thank you to Dr. DeLeeuw for joining us very early in the morning for her out in California. We really appreciated her stopping by. I think we got her out of bed that morning, so we do appreciate that. We'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.
The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.